Welcome to the fascinating world of the ancient Egyptians, a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago, leaving behind wonders like the Great Pyramids and the mysterious art of mummification. Today, we're going to journey back in time to uncover their secrets and discover how they accomplished these incredible feats. The ancient Egyptians thrived along the banks of the Nile River, a gift that shaped their entire civilization. Every year, the river would flood, leaving behind rich, dark soil perfect for farming. The Egyptians called this fertile land the Black Land, contrasting it with the barren desert, or Red Land, that surrounded them. This cycle of flooding and renewal was so reliable that the Egyptians built their entire agricultural calendar around it. Without the Nile, life as they knew it wouldn't have been possible. Farmers worked tirelessly to plant and harvest crops like wheat and barley, the staples of their diet. With simple tools like wooden plows and sickles, they turned the fertile soil into fields of golden grain. Papyrus, a tall reed that grew abundantly along the river, was another vital resource. It was used to make everything from ropes to boats, and most importantly, the paper-like sheets on which they recorded their knowledge. But the Nile wasn't just about farming. It was also the superhighway of ancient Egypt. Boats of all shapes and sizes glided along its calm waters, carrying goods, people, and even ideas. Fishermen cast their nets, merchants traded luxuries like gold, spices, and exotic animals, and workers transported massive stone blocks for building the Great Pyramids. Animals were also an important part of life along the Nile. Cattle, goats, and donkeys provided food and labor, while cats, often seen as protectors of homes, were treated almost like royalty. The sacred ibis, with its elegant white feathers, was a symbol of wisdom and a reminder of the god's presence in daily life. Imagine this. It's over 4,500 years ago, and you're standing in the bustling desert sands of ancient Egypt. All around you, thousands of workers are toiling away under the blazing sun, creating what will one day become one of the most famous structures in the world, the Great Pyramid of Giza. But how did the Egyptians pull off such an incredible feat, all without modern machinery? The pyramids weren't just construction projects. They were monumental expressions of faith and power. These structures served as tombs for the pharaohs, designed to guide them into the afterlife and showcase their divine status. To build them, the Egyptians relied on ingenuity, teamwork, and a vast workforce of skilled laborers, farmers, and architects. The first step was to quarry massive limestone and granite blocks. Workers chiseled the stones by hand using copper tools, carving them into precise shapes. But the real challenge was moving these blocks, some weighing as much as 80 tons. So, how did they do it? Ingenious engineers developed ramps, sledges, and even poured water on the sand to reduce friction, making it easier to drag the stones. Each pyramid was a masterpiece of planning and precision. Architects carefully aligned them with the stars, ensuring they symbolized a connection to the heavens. Massive ramps were constructed to transport stones to the higher levels. And here's a fun fact. Contrary to the popular myth, the pyramids weren't built by enslaved people. They were built by dedicated workers who lived in nearby villages, complete with homes, bakeries, and medical facilities. When completed, the pyramid wasn't just a tomb. It was a statement of eternal power. Its smooth white limestone casing shimmered in the sunlight, visible for miles. It stood as a beacon of hope, faith, and ingenuity, reminding us even today of the incredible accomplishments of ancient Egypt. Now that the pyramid is complete, let's step inside and explore the wonders hidden within its ancient walls. Far from the blazing sun and bustling activity outside, the interior is cool, quiet, and filled with mystery. Every inch of these chambers was crafted with purpose, designed not only as a tomb, but as a gateway to eternity. These corridors and chambers weren't just places, they were pathways for the pharaoh's soul to journey into the afterlife. As we make our way through the narrow corridors, you'll notice how perfectly the stones fit together without mortar. It's as if they were carved to lock in place like a giant puzzle. The passageways twist and turn, leading us deeper into the heart of the pyramid. Along the walls, colorful hieroglyphs and paintings come to life, telling stories of the pharaoh's life and the gods who guide him. In the burial chamber, we find treasures beyond imagination, golden statues, intricately designed jewelry, and chests overflowing with precious gems. These were offerings meant to ensure the pharaoh's comfort in the afterlife. The air feels heavy with the weight of history, as if the very walls are holding their breath to protect these ancient secrets. Above us, shafts carved into the pyramid align perfectly with the stars, symbolizing the pharaoh's ascent to the heavens. Every detail, every corner, and every symbol reminds us that this wasn't just a tomb. It was a masterpiece of spirituality and engineering, a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Mummification, an intricate and sacred art, was central to ancient Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife. For the Egyptians, death was not the end, but merely a transition to a new existence. The body had to be preserved to house the soul, ensuring it could journey through the afterlife and reunite with the gods. This process was not just practical, it was deeply spiritual, steeped in rituals and symbolism. The process began with purification. The body was washed with water from the Nile, symbolizing rebirth, and anointed with oils and resins to prepare it for eternity. Priests, often wearing masks of the jackal-headed god Anubis, carefully performed these rites, ensuring every step honored the deceased and pleased the gods. Next came the most delicate step, removing the internal organs. The Egyptians believed the heart was the seat of the soul, so it was left in place while the brain, seen as unnecessary, was removed using hooks through the nose. The liver, stomach, intestines, and lungs were carefully removed and placed in canopic jars, each protected by a specific god. For example, the falcon-headed Kebesenuef guarded the intestines, while Hapi, with a baboon head, protected the lungs. Once the body was empty of its internal organs, it was packed with natron, a natural salt found in the desert. This vital step dried out the body, preventing decay. The corpse was then left to rest for 40 days, allowing the natron to work its magic. When the body was ready, it was washed again, and the hollow spaces were filled with linen, spices, and even sawdust to restore its shape. Then came the iconic step, wrapping the body. Priests meticulously wrapped the body in hundreds of yards of linen, layer by layer. Between each layer, they placed amulets, small charms imbued with magic and protection at key points on the body. The Eye of Horus protected the forehead, while scarabs were placed over the heart to ensure safe passage through the afterlife. The process ended with the opening of the mouth ceremony. Using a special tool, priests symbolically reopened the deceased's senses so they could speak, eat, and breathe again in the afterlife. This final ritual was filled with chants and prayers, calling upon the gods to accept the deceased into their eternal realm. Mummification was more than just preserving a body. It was a profound act of devotion. Every step honored the gods and reaffirmed the Egyptian belief in life after death. To this day, these practices remind us of their deep connection to spirituality and their unwavering hope in a life beyond this world. Once the body was mummified, the real adventure began. The ancient Egyptians believed that the deceased had to travel through the afterlife, which wasn't just a stroll in the park. It was filled with magical challenges and tricky tests to prove they were worthy of eternal happiness. The journey ended with the most important test of all, the weighing of the heart ceremony. In this ceremony, the heart of the deceased was placed on one side of a golden scale, and on the other side, a single feather, the feather of Ma'at, which stood for truth and justice. If the heart was lighter than the feather, it meant the person had lived a good and honest life. They would be welcomed by Osiris, the god of the afterlife, into a beautiful paradise where they could live forever in peace. But if the heart was heavier than the feather, that meant the person had been unkind or dishonest. Their heart would be gobbled up by a scary creature called a mit, part lion, part hippo, and part crocodile. No paradise for them, just an unhappy ending. That's why the Egyptians worked so hard to live good lives and honor their gods. They wanted to make sure their hearts were as light as a feather, and their journey ended in eternal happiness. The legacy of the ancient Egyptians is one of wonder and inspiration, stretching across thousands of years. They left behind more than just towering pyramids and golden treasures. They left us a window into a civilization that celebrated life, honored their gods, and pushed the boundaries of human ingenuity. Theirs was a culture deeply connected to the natural world, from the life-giving Nile to the stars in the heavens, which they believed guided their journey in life and death. Their achievements weren't limited to architecture. Egyptian art, with its vivid colors and detailed depictions, still fascinates us today. Their writing system, hieroglyphs, was a blend of art and communication, capturing their stories, prayers, and daily life. They made incredible advances in science, from medicine and engineering to astronomy, mapping the stars with precision that still amazes modern scientists. Even more than their accomplishments, the Egyptians remind us of what humanity can achieve when imagination and determination come together. Their pyramids have stood the test of time, a symbol of resilience and vision. Their myths and stories continue to inspire, teaching us about love, loyalty, and the quest for eternal life. Through their legacy, the ancient Egyptians continue to whisper to us across the ages, reminding us to dream big and reach for the stars. And so, we've come to the end of our incredible journey through ancient Egypt. From the flowing waters of the Nile to the golden sands of the desert, the Egyptians built a civilization that continues to amaze and inspire us today. They were storytellers, builders, and dreamers who believed in something far greater than themselves, a connection to the stars, the gods, and the eternal mysteries of life and death. Their towering pyramids, magnificent temples, and intricate writings remind us of their boundless imagination and unmatched ingenuity. They show us the power of legacy, that what we create today can inspire and teach generations to come. And their beliefs about the afterlife, they remind us to live with purpose, kindness, and hope, making our own lives as meaningful as possible. If you love this journey into ancient Egypt, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing adventures into history and beyond. And hey, let me know in the comments what you found most fascinating about the ancient Egyptians. Was it their pyramids, their mummies, or maybe their incredible connection to the stars? Remember, their story isn't just about the past. It's a reminder of what we can achieve when we dream big and reach for the stars. Who knows? Maybe one day you'll create your own piece of history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.